Happy anniversary to this guy. Happy anniversary to me. Hey everyone, and welcome to Clay's Corner on my 1 year anniversary. Yes, it was May 13th, 2016 that I published my first ever Clay's Corner video blog. The topic of that one was, what does your Instagram profile say about you? And since then, I've done a total of 13 of these video blogs, averaging out to one per month, which isn't that bad. I want to do a bit more than that. But if it seems like I haven't recorded one of these in a little while, it's because I haven't recorded one of these in a little while. In fact, my last one was from exactly 5 months ago on December 13th, 2016, and I had as my special guest my lovely wife Gail, and the topic was our first impressions of each other. If you haven't seen that one yet, I invite you to go back and check it out later. You won't be disappointed. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch these video vlogs, time that you'll never ever get back. Whether you've seen just one or a few or all of them, I appreciate you very much. Today, I'm going to share with you the biggest mistake that I've ever made in my speaking career. And it actually happened just this past Saturday at the wedding mass of my sister-in-law, Julianne and Patrick. I had just one job to do on that day. Actually, I had two jobs, but more on that later. But for this first job, before the mass, I was simply supposed to welcome everyone to the church and give a few instructions. So on a day that was going to be the most joyful day, the most memorable day, and certainly the most important day of young Julianne and Patrick's lives, I said this: welcome to St. Paul's Parish, and welcome to the funeral mass of Julianne and Patrick. Yes, that's exactly what I said. I heard a couple people shriek. I heard someone gasp. I heard a few people giggle. I heard a lot of people laugh. I looked back to the church's entrance and I saw Pat standing there with his parents, and I thought that I saw him smile. So I continued, I am so sorry. That was completely unintentional. Please turn your phones off, and please do not take any pictures during the wedding mass, as the couple has hired a professional photographer. Thank you. I sheepishly stepped down from the pulpit and made my way to the pew. And I sat there, absolutely mortified, disappointed, and embarrassed. And after the beautiful wedding mass, I went up to Julianne and Pat, and I said to them, I am so sorry. I don't know what came over me. I wasn't even nervous. I don't know why I said what I said. And Julianne, in her most loving and forgiving way, said, don't worry about it. Then Pat shook my hand and said, oh man, that was money. And I said, no, Pat, that wasn't money, because I wasn't supposed to say that. And then throughout the day, and especially that evening's reception, more than a dozen people came up to me and said, Clay, that was so good. That was so funny. You got them so good. How long did you practice that? And I said, no. I had to convince them that that was an honest mistake, a horrible mistake, and that it certainly wasn't intentional. Now, I guess I was slightly flattered to think that people thought that I was smart enough or good enough to pull something like that off. And I've heard of all the analogies and jokes about a wedding being just like a funeral, and that a guy wears black because it's like going to a funeral and he's dying to himself or dying to oneself as he gives himself fully to his bride. And when I went to fulfill my second job for the day, announcing the order of photos after the mass, I think I did okay and that I redeemed myself. But none of that gave me much comfort nor solace as I replayed that moment over and over in my mind throughout the day and throughout the evening, wondering how I could make such a silly mistake. And I wasn't worried too much about Julianne's friends or Pat's friends getting mad at me, because I know a lot of them and I think they know my good intentions. I was more concerned about Julianne and Pat's relatives, especially the older, more traditional ones. And I wouldn't blame them if they thought, well, who's that jerk on the pulpit? Or why is that wise guy trying to be so funny? In speaking to both Julianne and Pat throughout this past week, thankfully, both of them have said that none of the relatives said anything to them, nor wanted to rush the pulpit to beat me up. Needless to say, it was an extremely humbling moment, one of the most humbling moments in my speaking career. A speaking career that I hope and pray did not just die this past Saturday. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time in Clay's Corner. God bless.